Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hard 100, a video series documenting the culling of my collection from what it is to what it's going to be, and that is a hard 100 games. I have mentioned before that I am a fan of wrestling. I love it. I fucking love it. But wrestling board games are almost non-existent. As far as like a real big, meaty board game, there's not really anything. There's a ton of little card games. There's a couple of dice games. There's just a couple, they put wrestling in it a little bit, but there's not really a wrestling game. Oh no, wait, that WWE Superstars game is a wrestling, but Phil won't play that with me. He has played this one with me though. This is probably the best wrestling game out there, and even then, I struggle with what to do with it. Ladies and gentlemen, put them on! Luchador, Mexican wrestling dice game, 2nd edition. Luchador, Mexican Wrestling Dice by Mark Riviera, 2nd edition and Backspindle Games, is a dice game for you and a handful of players to chunk dice at a ring until someone comes out on top. But what this game has you doing is everyone has a handful of dice and you're going to roll those dice. Those dice have various things on them in standard dice game-ish. So if you have a fist, it's a hit. They have blocks. They have all kinds of things, and the goal is to everyone roll their dice. If it stays in the ring, you get it. You can re-roll pins if you want to, if you don't want to pin yet, and then you line them up, some things block, and then damage is done, and you move damage down a track. It's very simple. If you get a certain combination of them, you can roll a special die, which does extra magic damage. This game comes with a 3D ring that is kind of worn out to the point where the cardboard is starting to crack, but it's a beautiful thing on the table, but now it's kind of nothing. And I actually played on the flat board for the first time and enjoyed it more. It's also a little bit of a dexterity game. So whenever you roll your dice, anything on the table stays there. And you can also re-roll the pins if you don't want to pin yet. So if I re-roll my pins, I can re-roll and try to knock some of your dice off. It's kind of a fun little thing. And if you do decide to pin, once you get that health down to a certain threshold and you reach the pin, you can roll 3 times to try to get a certain amount, and then you go 1, 2, 3, and then you win. It's stupid simple. Pretty fun. Not stupid, but fun. Housekeeping. 2 to 6 players. No. No. This is a 2 or 4 player game. I've tried playing it with 3, but there's too much weirdness. When you play it with 4 players, you play tag team rules. So you can actually tag in and out, and it's really fun to tag, and if everyone is into it, the most fun I had was playing a tag team game where it's just like high fives, and every character has like the little standee, and all of the characters in the game are super well thought out. They're all the exact same unless you use their special power, which is their special combination of things. And it's pretty thematic, but one-on-one is just roll, 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 roll. 8 and up, it's very simple. And then 15 minutes, it is very, very fast. A box this big is not a 15-minute game. That box should be a lot smaller, but it does come packed with a lot of cardboard, including a cardboard belt and the ring. The ring could have folded and the dice and whatever. There's some meeples in there. Got it off the Kickstarter, it was fine. Now, as a game, it's barely. I don't have a lot of just straight dice games. I have Ninja Dice, which I still haven't played. I have Elder Sign, which is a dice game. I have a lot of games with dice in them, of course, but this is just straight up dice game. Kind of like your zombie dice or anything like that. Dungeon Roll. I mean, it's just a standard dice game. I feel like I've begun to move past this. I have played this game at 2 players and 4 players, and I played it very recently. And, ladies, come here. Look, come here. I love wrestling. The hierarchy of things that I love. Family, of course. I love my family. I love my baby girl. I love my wife. But when we're talking about the rest of the stuff, it goes wrestling. Way next is like my Star Wars and my comic books and movies and stuff. Like the top 5 spots are wrestling. I love it. A little too close. Let me just kind of... I love wrestling. So much so that I will apologize for meh game if it has a wrestling theme. I got rid of that other paper, rock, scissors game that had wrestling on it because I wanted it to be bigger. This game, I also kind of want to be bigger. I want this idea to fuel a fucking wrestling game. Luchador, Mexican wrestling dice. You know what? I think it's about that time. Out of my hard 100. I'm sad to see this go. There's a lot of dice in here, and it's fun whenever you're playing with the right people, but you gotta find the right people. I'm the right person, but I mean, it's almost too simple for what it is. I wish it was more. If they came out with a 3rd edition tomorrow on Kickstarter, I'd fucking buy it in a heartbeat. But I think I need more out of my games and when I'm looking at everything to play, the last time I played this game was 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And if it's been in my collection for 5 years, and the only reason I played it is so I could make this video, I think that says enough. Sorry, Luchador. I have to show you the Luchador, because there's a door over there. Ha! Funny. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was right for my shelf at one time. I think it might be right for yours if you're looking for a light, fun dice game with some wrestling fans. Maybe play it over WrestleMania weekend, but I think it's just run its course, and I have to send it off to a better home. Genuinely sad to see this go. It was always on my shelf. It always felt good to own, but why do I own a game if I'm not going to play it? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on this, the latest edition of the Hard 100. I hope you and yours are well. That game, goddamn. Peace out.